Yes, peeps. What's happening? Hope everyone's well. Welcome to another weekend extravaganza. And guess what, guys? As promised, we've got a new segment for you. It's called Fergie Time, and we're covering Greenwood sparing. Let's call it Greenwood spares Maguire's blushes because man can't defend. But I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, right? Let me introduce you to my host, my homeboy, Shaz. I'm going to let you take it away, bro.
Yes, people. Welcome to a new segment on the finished article. Like we said, new segments are going to be coming. New segments I think this is the fourth segment now on the channel, and we'll be bringing you more content as we go along.
Shaz, you know what? Before we carry on, like, see that beautiful
Yes,
banner at the bottom?
people.
See that beautiful banner? Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment because without you, there's no point doing anything. So, guys, just please hit that ticker because
Yes.
we're going to bring you plenty of surprises, going to bring you plenty of gossip because we've got plenty to say. If you've tuned into other segments, you know that my boy Shaz likes to have a rant from time to time, and you know what?
Yes.
There's nothing better than having a rant on live air. So, guys, Shaz,
Okay.
take it away, bro.
Yeah, no, like Shaz says, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, people. So as the title says, it's Fergie time. This is all things about Manchester United, post-match analysis, match reviews, gossip, everything Man United. But today, as that little thing says at the bottom there, we are doing a post-match reaction on Man United at Old Trafford versus Burnley. So it finished 3-1 to United. It was a good game. Burnley scored first, but the goal was disallowed. It was a Chris Wood goal, but it was offside. United took the lead 1-0 through Mason Greenwood, but Burnley countered straight away with a header from a corner. Scored, and I can't remember his name now. Trudowski, I think it was,
Right.
scored by bullying Harry Maguire. There's no other way to put it. Mason Greenwood again, another goal, but the breakaway from that for that second goal was brilliant. Luke Shorter, Rashford, and Rashford down the wing. I loved what Fernandez did there. He just faked it, let the ball go through his legs to Mason
You
Greenwood,
know what?
who popped it in the back of the net.
Before you carry on, Shaz, I'm gonna let Shaz carry on. But you know what? That fake away should be given as an assist because that was pure genius.
Exactly, it should have been, man. It should that should definitely have been an assist, but I think Rashford got the assist on that. But yeah, excuse me. Third goal from Cavani, set up by our good friend Van der Beek. Again, United smashing it, 3-1. It looked like they were either going to lose this game or draw, but towards the end of the game, they pulled it off. They hit they hit the ball in the back of the net like they needed to. Last minute goals, winning the game as United style. United did what United do. What were your thoughts on the game, and who was your man of the match there, Shaz?
Well, my thoughts on the match are Burnley are no pushovers as we've seen in the past. They give anyone a good side. They recently, or not recently, but this season they've beaten Liverpool at Anfield. And by all means, when we played them, or when Man United played them at Burnley, it was only thanks to Paul Pogba that they actually went and got the win. So my thoughts are good win. Defensive frailty as always, because we seem to be vulnerable at the back. I thought, unfortunately, for Burnley's goal, it was a case of Harry Maguire was caught on his heels. James Tarkowski outjumped him. But let's be honest, I got to say, you've still got to defend better than that. Not really happy with the defense.
100%.
In terms of goals, for me, I'm glad that Mason Greenwood is showing form at the right time. I think he's a gem of a player, and I'm glad that Man United are not putting too much pressure on him. And then Cavani, let's be honest, Cavani's a model pro.
Definitely.
He does he does what the job description says. Scores goals. I'm glad that I especially like the last goal. If you look at the Fernandez link-up play, Van der Beek to Cavani, that was like poetry in motion.
It was brilliant to see.
But I think, you know what? I think it highlights the thing. Pogba needs to stay. You need Fernandez there, and you've got Van der Beek. If you give him some time, they're like the midfield conductors. Let them orchestrate the play, like I'm doing. Not as good as those guys do.
Let them orchestrate that play, fam. Nah, it was good to see United pull out some good skills, some good counters, some good build-up play.
Yeah.
Man of the match, I would either say Mason Greenwood or Fernandez. I'm saying Fernandez because the work rate on that guy is just unbelievable. But yeah, I'm probably going to give it to Mason Greenwood because he scored 2 goals. He did the job. He helped us win. Without his goals, it would have been a draw.
You know what? I have to say this. Fernandez is man of the match every single game, even though he doesn't get the accolades. Without him, let's be honest. A year ago, when Manchester United signed Fernandez, I think we just lost to Burnley at home. Without him, Man United would be in a far worse place. Yes. Now, guys, it's interesting because we're coming to the situation whereby we're now 8 points behind Manchester City, who coincidentally managed to lose 2-1 to Leeds United. So if you watched our preview on All Things Football, we called it. Now, does this mean that Man United are going to win the title? You know what? The optimists will tell you, you know what, we love a good fairy light story, but I think it's still Man City's lose. But let's
be realistic about it. We're 8 points behind City. To me, I think City have still won the league. Even though we're catching them up slowly, there's not enough games left for us to beat them to the title. Unless they do a Liverpool and totally just lose like 4 or 5 games in a row whilst we win. And I don't see City doing it. Pep Guardiola is too good of a manager to let his team slip.
Can we pause for a second, Shaz, and appreciate Thomas Tuchel for stopping Man City from winning the quadruple. Big up to your boys, Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, City
don't give them credit.
Chelsea lost to Leeds. That's 2 losses in a row. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to do much for the morale in the team. It's not going to do much for the players losing 2 games. They've been knocked out of the FA Cup. Fair enough, they got through in the Champions League. But are they really going to win the Champions League? Let's be honest.
No, you know what? I'm disappointed. I am disappointed. So since we're talking on this, I am disappointed. My dream final of the oil legends has now been ruined.
The Oil Classico, bro. The Oil
Classico. Thank you. Oil Classico has been ruined because your boys at UEFA decide, you know what, we need to keep. It's really funny. So on the one hand, UEFA hate English football. But if they hate English football that much, why would you then, in the Europa League and Champions League, give English teams an all-English final potential? So, as you can imagine, Man City are facing PSG, Chelsea are facing Real Madrid, and in the Europa League, Man United are facing Roma, and Arsenal are facing Villarreal. So you've got a potential for all 4 of them to be in the final, give or take, depending on how they perform. But
on the back of that, bro, just before you carry on, that just goes to show how good English football is and how good the teams are here. I mean, all 4 of them could be in the finals for obviously the Europa League and the Champions League. And if that happens, it's an all-English final for both competitions. And it's probably the first time I've ever seen that happen. In both competitions.
It's the second time. So the first time was when Liverpool played Spurs in the Champions League final a couple of years back, and Arsenal played Chelsea in the Europa League. That was
really wow. How long ago was that?
That was back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? I must have missed that final in the Europa League, bro. I remember the Champions League final, but I don't remember the Europa League final that year, bro.
The final was Chelsea beat Arsenal, Eden Hazard's last game before he went to Real Madrid.
Before he moved off to be greedy for money, yeah. That's all I'm going to say on him. But yeah, let's talk a bit more about United. I know over this week there were some comments made between Pogba and Mourinho, and also Solskjaer and Mourinho after the Spurs game against United. Solskjaer said, I remember Solskjaer saying if it was his kid that did what Son did and took 10 of his friends to help him up, he'd be punished for it. He probably won't get fed,
Yeah.
which I found quite funny, to be fair. That the man's ruthless. That's just how ruthless he is.
You know what he did? Before you carry on, he literally baited Mourinho with that
Oh yeah,
statement.
of course he did. Of course he
Mourinho
did.
felt so
But Mourinho's
hard.
comment back was like, I hope. He said something about Ole being a bad father, which was quite of a personal attack, if you ask me.
No, but it wasn't. Well, whether it's a personal attack or not, it was funny because he ends up saying that it's a good thing that Ollie isn't Son's father and Son's father is a good man. Well, hang on a second, buddy. Has stopped detracting for the fact that your Spurs performance was just rubbish once they went 1-0 up. And by the way, if you have to flip me on my eye and you call that a foul every single time, geez, you might as well tie your hands behind your back, because football as a game, VAR plus these silly fouls that are given are just ruining the game, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think there was also comments between Pogba and Mourinho as well recently. Pogba was criticizing him, saying, once I had a great relationship with Mourinho, the next day I didn't know what happened. And I think this is going on about having Mourinho as the manager at United. I think obviously there was a lot of beef between Pogba and Mourinho, which is why I'm guessing Pogba didn't really play much under Mourinho.
So it's really simple, Shaz. So let me put it to you this way. So whilst Ollie might not have title-winning experience, what Ollie knows is how to get the best out of his players. When I say he's a good man manager, so he understands what works. So if you're my manager and you shout at me in public, two things will happen. I'll either react positively to it, in which case, carry on. It's good for the morale. Or they don't like their egos being hurt, in which case, you know what? You've got to be a bit smarter. Now, the problem I got with Mourinho, before you carry on, I actually like the guy because of what he did at Chelsea. I know I hate saying this, but he revolutionized the way that the team played. The problem, I agree where Shaz is going with this, because by the time he ended up at United, he was more like raw fish that just expired. But he did revolution. The problem with Mourinho is A, his ego, and B, the fact is that football has moved on so much more. You know what? A good example is Mourinho is using floppy disks, and everyone else is
on USBs. Yeah, exactly. You've hit the nail on the head there, bro. Now, going back to something you said about egos, that's the problem in football. The money and the popularity gives a lot of players big egos.
Yeah.
And it makes them think that they're bigger than the manager or the club, which at United, if you think you're bigger than the club, you don't deserve to have that shirt on. You need to be back out the door. You know that door behind you, Shaz? Open it and chuck them players out, bro. That's all I'm saying, fam. I'm being serious. No, it's not a laughing matter. If a player at United thinks he's bigger than United, then he doesn't deserve to be in that squad. He deserves to be sold. He deserves to be transferred out of that club ASAP, because that's bad attitude. That's a big ego, and that means he's not good for that locker room. If he thinks he's bigger than the club, he's going to be putting that on the other players as well, and that's not good for morale in that whole club, bro. That player needs to be gone. I don't think Pogba is that type of player that he thinks he's bigger than the club. I mean, look at what he did for France. I think it was in the World Cup, where he was motivating the team. There's a whole video of how he motivated the team. He gave him a huge speech. Now, to me, that doesn't show a player who thinks he's bigger than the club. That shows a player who's a team player, and he knows he's part of a team, and he wants the best for his team.
No,
that's why Pogba needs to stay at United, because he's that type of player that we need.
This is what I mean. So you got to look at it a twofold way. So Pogba, on his day, is a genius. The problem is, how do you make a genius tick in a team? You then have to say, okay, look, you know what? Buying Fernandes was the best thing Man United did, because it gave Pogba an ego, someone's ego to share. You know what Fernandes is like? He does not care a damn. He's like, guys, we're going in that direction, not that direction. So let's.
The thing is with Pogba, he doesn't like the spotlight whilst he's on the pitch. He'd rather someone else take the spotlight, but let him do what he wants to do. And that's where he ticks the best. When people aren't really noticing him much, when players aren't, the other team aren't player managing him or player marking him or whatever, and United are giving him that free reign within his role to just get the ball wherever he wants and move forward. Now, speaking of Pogba, there is actually a rumor. Now, this is probably only a rumor. I don't think it's ever going to happen because we've spoke on this before about United and stuff like that. So the rumor is that Juventus want Pogba back and they want to sell Ronaldo. So they're trying to do a swap between Ronaldo and Pogba. Now, I don't see that ever happening. Do I want to see it happen? No, I'm going to answer that with a no. And not because I don't like Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo still is the best player in the world. Is it a good move for United to bring Ronaldo back at this stage in his career? It probably would be, but I still don't want to see it. And I know that sounds stupid.
Why do you not want to see it?
I'd rather see Pogba stay at United and show people what he can do.
The funny thing
because if we get Ronaldo back, let's say we get Ronaldo back, how many seasons is he going to stay at United? 1, maybe 2, before he leaves again. And I don't want to see Ronaldo come just to leave. I don't want Ronaldo to use United as a stepping stone to get a bigger deal somewhere else in a couple of years.
He isn't going to get, but let me counter your argument. So 2 things. Juve don't have the money to be able to financially get rid of Ronaldo because his contract is huge. Because even if you cancel his contract, you have to pay a huge severance package. Second of all, they can't afford to buy Pogba because they need to find money, and I don't think it's going to happen.
The thing is, if you taking Pogba from United and obviously swapping him for Ronaldo opposite way, it works in Juve's favour in more ways than one. So Ronaldo's older than Pogba.
Yeah.
So Juve are getting a younger player, so they're going to get more out of him. Pogba's not going to be on as higher wages as Ronaldo. And obviously they can pay him. Obviously they're going to pay him what he wants to be paid, but it's not going to be as much as Ronaldo. Do you get what I mean? But Ronaldo going the other way to United means United are going to be paying more wages to Ronaldo. So they're going to have to finance that from somewhere.
Yes. The problem is, under the current regime, we've already kind of screwed up. So if I give you 2 examples, the first one is a name that you're probably well familiar with, your boy Alexis Sanchez.
I knew that. I knew you were going to say it. As soon as you said you're going to say a name, I knew that name was going to pop into you.
Because you know what happened? 500K a week we paid the guy. Or Man United paid the guy. Apologies. I wish I could pay someone.
I wish I could pay someone that much a week, bro.
But
where have you been hiding your money, fam?
That was just overinflation on a player that, he joined, and within the first 10 minutes, he didn't even want to be there.
Let's be honest. He came for the money. He rinsed United for money. 500K a week. That's 2 million a month. That's 24 million a year that he was getting at United. And how many games did he actually play for United? Probably about a season's worth of games.
Just under a season.
Yeah. So he stole 24 million that year from United. And then he was actually out on loan to, was it Inter Milan he went to?
Inter Milan, yeah, correct.
Yeah. So he went to Inter Milan on loan, and United was still paying half of his wage, and the other half was being paid by Inter Milan. So he was still stealing like 12 million a year from United whilst he was at Milan. The guy made enough money that year within them 2 seasons, and he could have just retired because, let's be honest, if he retired, no one would have missed him. After the shocker that he had at United that season, he didn't do that bad at Inter, but he wasn't the player he was that when he was at Arsenal, let's be honest.
Here's the other conundrum now. So the other player that I'm going to bring into question, and you know this as well, is David De Gea. So at one point, Real Madrid was scouting him. United then said, you know what? And I don't disagree with it to a certain extent because he's a good player. But you pay a keeper 350 grand a week, plus you pay Dean Henderson
bonus and stuff.
Then you pay Romero another 200k. You are talking about 700k between three
Just on
keepers.
your goalkeepers, man. That's crazy.
No one else in the world football ever does that. That
No.
outlay is just shocking, and that's the
No,
problem.
and that goes back to what we spoke about in other videos. That goes down to the management. That goes down to the Glaciers and Ed Woodward not knowing how to negotiate contracts with players. And another player I want to throw into the mix there is Di Maria. He came in and he had a shocker of a season at United, and then he just left because he was on quite a high wage at United.
See, the thing with Di Maria is, I got to be honest with you, and I've got to disagree with you on this one. So for me, Di Maria was one of the best signings we could have made. Now, I know you sound a bit, okay, agree to disagree, but here's my thoughts on that.
Guy's a traitor, that's all. I'm not even going to say anything else on him. He's a traitor.
Dude, bro, the problem is, when you play for Van Gaal, you either give the guy the time to play, or why'd you sign him in the first place? I don't understand. You just signed.
No, I get what you mean. He was struggling to be in the squad. He was struggling in training, and I'm guessing he was just struggling to get into the first team. And another player that I want to mention is Mkhitaryan.
Yeah,
we got him from Arsenal.
No,
we got him
from Arsenal. We got Mkhitaryan from.
Sure, it was we sold him to Arsenal, didn't we?
Yeah, we sold him to Arsenal.
Yeah, so we got him from Dortmund, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right. So at Dortmund, Mkhitaryan was a brilliant winger, a brilliant player. But look at what happened to him at United. That he wasn't fit to be in a United shirt.
But yeah,
the same. If you ask me, that's the same as Di Maria. He wasn't fit to be in a United shirt. He lasted a season and then he was gone.
Yeah, but look at a lot of players. The problem is because Man United don't have an identity. You end up then farming out players to different positions.
But that's the problem that we've had until Solskjaer came in. United didn't have an identity. The Glaciers and Woodward didn't know what type of players fitted that United team. And I think some of the players that were signed weren't based on the manager's opinions. They were based on who Ed Woodward and the Glaciers wanted because they thought they were good players. But yes, they were good players, but were they good for United? No. And since Solskjaer's come in, he's changed that. He's given them he's saying these are the players that we need. These are the type of players that we need, not these type of players. Let's not make them mistakes again.
I mean,
that's going the right way.
I'm literally going to end this topic by saying one thing. Ollie has done a fantastic job by getting rid of the Deadwood. Okay, I know Phil Jones is still there.
Whenever we talk about Deadwood, Phil Jones' name always pops up.
The guy
just signed a new contract. He ain't going nowhere, fam. He's staying at United till he retires in the reserves. Stealing a wage, that guy, bro, from Blackburn as well. Just around the corner.
That's the definition of stealing a wage. But yes,
that's 100% definition of stealing a wage.
To wrap it up on today's episode, my take on it is Ollie doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, of course he is.
He's never going to be classed as a legend because he hasn't won a title. Now, I think
no. He's a legend as a player, but as a manager, he's still fairly new to United as a manager. How many seasons? This is his third season.
Oh yeah, third. Yeah,
third season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not done too bad. He's had us finished top 4 last season, and this season it looks like we're guaranteed top 4 unless we majorly mess up. We've got 2 seasons back to back where we're guaranteeing ourselves, the Champions League. And since Fergie left, that's not been consistent. It's something that's not been consistent is us finishing in the top 4. Never mind the top 4. I'm talking about the top 2. We haven't finished first or second since Fergie left for a long time. And if we finish second now, this is probably the first season since Fergie left that we've actually finished top 2 very comfortably. And that's a move in the right direction. So is Solskjaer doing a good job? 100%. And that's why he signed a new contract recently. And he needs to stay there.
He's doing the best with what he can, and you know what? I want to see how he gets on in the transfer window this summer. But guys, as always, it's been a pleasure to have you on board. Please, before we head off today, as always, leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. We're looking to produce more content for you guys. So if there's anything that we put out today that you disagree with or think we've missed out, then please let us know and we'll endeavor to cover in our next video. But guys, it's been a pleasure.
100%.
Take care, and we'll catch up with you soon. Peace out.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and until the next video, see you later.